Has self-promotion gone too far? At least this is a live gameplay of a 3-year-old game. But you know how there are fake cams on Omegle? Or Omegle, I don't care if it's tomato or tomato. That usually consists of a fake cam girl and a link to a website? I'm not joking with you. The other day, I was searching YouTube as a common interest. His or her cam, or where his cam should have been, had his YouTube intro playing. And it was one of those YouTube intros with a dubstep in the background and a 3D text zooming in and out while in sync with the music. I could not believe my eyes. It was phenomenal. Almost surreal. I was a second too late to screen capture because I was laughing too hard. I thought having YouTube as your emblem in Black Ops 3 was the last straw, but my expectation seems to be broken every day. How far will these guys go to promote their channel? At what lengths will they stop? This is what's going to be about for today's video. It's a look into the future through my eyes, the crystal balls of the Call of Duty YouTube environment. And from this day on, I will not speak of the words Call of Duty community anymore. It's on the same level as a WWE universe. I cannot stand it, but let's get on right to it. So how do doctors detect diseases that have yet to surface? How do doctors discover undiscovered illnesses during health checkups? They look for symptoms. They seek for those signs that can possibly lead to something scary. A wall is built one brick at a time, and so are incurable viruses. And today, through research over the past few months, I have accumulated evidence that points out to a dark, dystopian future that's ahead of us on YouTube. And I nicknamed this Clickbait of Duty YouTube Monay. So why don't we treat this like a lab report and go through every evidence and discuss its implications moving forward? And as we move up the ranks, you might want to invest in your health insurance right now because you might need life support afterwards. So, our first patient is called Captain Caps Lock. He has this mild condition where his or her, but mostly his, ring finger cannot let go of the shift button on his keyboard. This causes patient Caps Lock to be screaming both online and in real life. Other associated symptoms with patient Caps Lock is that he or she will shite his pants every time they are making their thumbnails, causing them to put their hands in a praying position or having both fists in front of their mouths as a shield to mask their embarrassment. The only cure to patient Caps Lock's illness is to take copious amounts of LSD, which takes them on trips of colorful adventures, leading to an incredible thumbnail creation painted with extremely bright and blinding colors. I pronounce patient Caps Lock a sentence of eternal blindness within the next 2 years, as the human eye can only handle so much light. Our second and more severe patient is named Illogical John. He has no comprehension to what does or does not make sense in life anymore. Symptoms include thumbnails that make no sense at all. Here's an example. An intervention sniper rifle from 2009's Modern Warfare 2 in 2011's Modern Warfare 3 about 2016's Infinite Warfare.
What's going on, guys? It's T-Man here. Today we've got some
predict this
exciting
patient's
news.
condition can only get worse, with a completely irrelevant thumbnail and video titles on the horizon on the complement. Possible evolution of this disease will lead to an extreme exaggeration in video titles and thumbnails, such as a video named Man Set on Fire with a thumbnail of a man burnt alive, where in fact it is a Black Ops 3 video of a noob being set on fire by a thermite grenade. Another possible scenario would be called Suicide Bomber Threat Prank, with a thumbnail of a man wearing a headscarf with 10 pounds of dynamite strapped around his waist, only for the video to be about a player cooking a grenade next to his teammate in a game of hardcore search and destroy. clear pieces of evidence have already presented themselves, with examples such as punched a girl and all gonna die. There is no possible cure that can be medically created as of this moment. Only possible source of cure is from within the patient itself, inside the beating heart of the patient. It will be a hard-fought battle between the victim's dignity against his YouTube money, baby. Alright, so our third patient is certified insane. Someone who believes in doing the same video over and over again, but is expecting a different result. And the patient's name, you wouldn't guess it. His name was Albert Einstein. A common symptoms are his poor skills in English grammars, namely tilting multiple titles about a best weapon, or the bestest best weapon, or even the most best weapon, or even the bestest of the best most best weapon. At this stage, the patient still yields a chance to be cured. However, once the patient has evolved into creating every video about getting dark matter over and over again, even though it can only be unlocked once, the chances of a cure becomes a fruitful dream. Recurring symptoms include sexually innuendo video titles and thumbnails. Evidence include free dark matter dildo or dark matter dildo gameplay, or unlocking a 6-figure amount of crypto keys, or even non-existent weapons in one game. This patient is as good as a vegetable. Our next patient has been infected with a new form of cancer that has spread all over his body, and it is indeed too late to find any cure. He has reached a hacked stage 1000 of terminal cancer. The biggest telling symptoms are the transformations of the shape of his pupils from circular to a shape that resembles a dollar sign, turning whatever his or her color was into Benjamin Greens. It is also believed to be a new metamorphosis of the ADHD disease, where brightly colored arrows are the only things that can attain his attention when designing a thumbnail. Also, he truly believes by having a giant arrow pointing at something in the thumbnail, it will clarify the subject of his video.
For free card points, DLC, unlimited clickbait,
naming
use
every
code
video
Xenogenesis for
with a
0.01% off your next
or a
purchase.
proposition that is extremely hard to pronounce out loud. Alright, I'm gonna work these roads now. So for example, this gun is epic! Oh, why do I never see this?
Boys, we are popping off.
This too often will lead to the viewers of his videos to develop breathing problems. Case in point, this patient's disease is highly transmittable through air, through touch, and now through the internet. The worst possible stage this patient can devolve into is a blatant change of his YouTube username into a series of numbers. This stage is called the Mason, where it transforms the patient into a sociopath that tricks the uninitiated into believing his popularity. Other symptoms of this patient include an abundance of videos of his absurdly expensive new car and new house, and the lack of any money in his savings account, although that's not the case sometimes, as well as the inability to name other games that are not synonymous with the channel properly. Examples include Demon Warfare instead of just Doom, or I killed someone instead of just Hitman. This patient usually lives a short-term prosperous life before his imminent death. Our second to last patient is simple. He has simply transformed into a human thesaurus. It is the shining example that the next stage to human evolution is a tree, the representation of everlasting immortality. Strongest evidence is naming the same topic in 100 different ways as the video title. Examples include Top 5 Best YouTube Snipers in Call of Duty History, Top 5 to Top 5 Call of Duty, or all called Top 5 Plays Number 1, Call of Duty Top 5 Players. There is a very high correlation between people that hold an English degree in college with these patients. Last but not least, Our last patient is the most dangerous species out there. He is the accumulation of all the diseases mentioned above. Dark matter, arrows, and now the final stage of pure tits in the thumbnail. This patient shows no awareness or remorse over his actions. His blood is green and is highly contagious. Evidence to victims of his infections include the answer to this question that's posted in every popular video ever existed. Any ideas on how to grow on YouTube? I've just started as well. I think you should just clickbait. Other symptoms also include the same person holding multiple accounts, upvoting himself, and answering his own questions. A very high chance of pure insanity, and the proof to be mythical, so-called talk to yourself syndrome. The short acronym to this syndrome is TTY syndrome, which has been crowned for such mutants. Despite the darkness of the situation presented in front of us, I have not given up. Men are still good. We fight, we grill, we betray one another, but we can rebuild. We can do better. We have to.